Hello everybody, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about Beam Therapeutics getting priority from the FDA for Beam 101. Want to talk about also the buys from Ark Invest on the August 15, which happens to be yesterday on Friday. Couple of $1 million worth of buys of CRISPR Therapeutics and Beam combined. I want to talk about why that is so important in the current state of affairs. So, guys, let's jump right into it. I do have an event. I have to go to King's Plate in Toronto. So, King's Plate is where, well, now it's called King's Plate. When the Queen of the UK was still alive, it was called Queen's Plate, but now it's a king, so it's called King's Plate. Basically, it's a traditional event where people dress up in Victorian era, and there's a bunch of horse races. I think there's one big one in Kansas, I think, in US. There's a couple of them around the world, but that's the biggest one in Canada, so I'm attending that one. That's going to be really, really fun. That's actually in a couple of hours, so I want to maybe hit the gym here, do a couple of things here before I head off. I am not going to dress up in a Victorian era, rest assured. I'm just going with a regular black on black on black. That's the boring, but black is the new black, right? So, guys, let's jump right into it. Beam Therapeutics announces US FDA RMAT designation granted for Beam 101 for treatment of sickle cell disease. I'm going to give a code here in that code. We are thrilled that the FDA has granted RMAT designation for Beam 101 following orphan drug designation earlier this year, reinforcing its potential as a one-time best-in-class therapy for sickle cell disease. These designations are not only to recognize the promise of Beam 101, but also to enhance collaboration with the FDA as we advance towards a BLA filing. With 30 patients now dosed in Beacon Phase 1, Phase 2 trial, and additional data expected later this year, we remain focused on delivering a transformative treatment to people living in sickle cell disease. End of code. And there's a couple of description of what this is, and I quote here: the FDA's RMAT designation is designed to support the development and evaluation of regenerative medicines, including genetic therapies, with the intentions of addressing serious or life-threatening diseases that have unmet medical need. That designation provides opportunities for early interactions with the FDA to discuss potential surrogate and intermediate endpoints to support accelerated approval. Organizational commitment from senior staff at the agency, opportunity to participate in novel review and development programs, and the potential of a rolling review and priority review of products. Future for BLA. So, guys, there's a lot happening here. This is pretty big for Beam 101. Again, congratulations to the company, to the stakeholders, to the shareholders, and most importantly, to folks, patients, families affected by sickle cell disease. Again, not FDA approved yet, but this is one step closer from the business update that we cover from Beam Therapeutics. I actually predicted that. I said that the FDA is going to be giving these types of announcements as they wait for this BLA submission from the Beam Therapeutics. Of course, Beam has submitted BLA's filing for the FDA to review it officially to either approve or disapprove, which we believe in this channel that the FDA will approve it. Again, no inside information, not financial information, guys. I'm just giving my educated opinion based on everything I'm reading and I'm following. Data has been amazing. Over 30 patients dosed now. They're going to release additional data. By end of this year, we're going to be getting data. And I should remind people we're pretty much near towards the end. We're past mid-August. So when we say end of this year, it could be next month, could be in October. I think it's going to be around October, November. We're going to get another set of data from Beam Therapeutics. And at that point, we'll have a lot more than 30 patients dosed. And, of course, we'll have more long-term data to review. And at that point, if they go ahead and submit the BLA filing sometime end of 2026, we may have an FDA approval by that time. And that's a bullish view, I understand, but I'm not the only one thinking that way, guys, because Ark Invest is also thinking that way. I mean, guys, look at this. Beam Therapeutics being bought $2.1 million worth of shares, again, in their RKK fund, and then you combine that with nearly 10 million from CRISPR Therapeutics, guys, do the math, guys. That is $12 million worth of share in a single business day for Ark Invest, just for Beam Therapeutics and CRISPR Therapeutics. And wait for it, add NTLA to this, guys. That's 17 million. That may be the biggest buy they've done in quite a while, since I've been tracking anyways. Again, I haven't tracked it every single day for the last few years, but from what I've seen here, this is the biggest buy of those three combined companies: CRISPR Therapeutics, Beam Therapeutics, and NTLA, in a single day. Total bought of $17 million worth of share. I should remind you guys that those numbers are pretty big, okay, considering that their total holdings, okay, if you take a look at CRISPR Therapeutics, you add that up now with Beam Therapeutics and now with NTLA, that gets them to number 2 position. Again, Tesla is their biggest position. That is above Coinbase. Now, Coinbase, they added obviously quite some of it. That's still above Coinbase, I believe. Let's do the math, guys, just for the sake of it here. Let's do the math here. 664, and it's kind of insane because we kind of had a pullback in the CRISPR landscape, right? Look at this, $1.01 billion. This is just short of 300 million from Tesla, which is number 1. So CRISPR total 3 companies, those 3 companies holdings for Ark Invest combined across all their ETF, everything, all their portfolios, it holds number 2 position. Now, obviously, I'm combining 3 companies, but you kind of have to do that because we're so early in the space. We're way too early. You kind of have to do that, and then you can kind of see how this is going to play out long term for Ark Invest. They believe in the technology. They see the trends. You know, you can bet they're looking at these types of announcements, and you can bet that they're in discussion with some of these companies on a regular cadence, right? Conducting interviews, public interviews. They're going through documentation. They're looking at the FDA. They're talking to maybe officials from the FDA in events, in conferences, things that we're not doing because obviously we have limited time, and it's not like I can just go to a random CRISPR conference and start talking about these things. I mean, I do have my day job and have other things to do, just like you guys probably do. So I'm just very grateful for Ark Invest doing these types of things. And again, I think what's important here, and hopefully a takeaway in this channel for this video anyways, is you want to stay up to date with these news, okay? You want to stay up to date. Don't get sucked in with the fallacy of following the stock price without fully understanding what's happening under the hood. We have an FDA approved program as of end of 2023, early 2024, Casgevy from CRISPR Therapeutics. We may have 2 additional CRISPR therapies program approved by end of next year, potentially end of next year. Very bullish. Worst case, sometime 2027. And then what does that unlock us by that time? What does the FDA do to expedite, to fast lane? And I saw something from the FDA, the person there that got fired and he got reinstated. I think it was yesterday. I saw something that they've approved a fast lane for some sort of gene therapy or something along those lines. And you know, what can they do for CRISPR? What can they do with genome editing, specifically with CRISPR? Will they do anything? You know, look, I'm speculating here, but you kind of have to see where the puck is going to end up. Don't focus too much on where the puck is today. You know, try to see where it can end up in the next 2, 3, 4 years. And again, have a lower time preference, guys. Think long term. So I'll end this video like this, guys. Again, no edits, no music, nothing, because again, I'm using another work laptop here. I have the other laptop that with all the edits and so on for our videos. Do subscribe, guys. Will really help this channel. Subscribe, like this video. It puts our videos on people's homepage, and let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this press release? What do you guys think about $17 million worth of share? That is insane, guys. I love it. I just love the space here, what's happening with CRISPR. Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be enjoying my Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday with your friends, family, community, guys. I'll see you guys hopefully on Sunday's video. Thank you.